Welcome to part 3 of the Sniper Outsourcing Blueprint. Okay, so in the last video what I did was I showed you how to actually find someone. Okay, so I showed you tips on things to look for, where to find them, how to where you can post a job. So I showed you the Warrior Forum and a few other little bits. Okay, now in this video, this is going to be a short video. I'm just going to show you how to actually negotiate with said person, or not with said person, how to find one person from all your different applicants, okay, and then actually hire them. Okay, now you will have a lot of applicants, more than you'd think actually, especially if you post a job and email people. You're quite possibly going to be looking at around 40 to 50 plus applicants. Okay, you're going to have a lot that want this job. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to pick the very best of them. Okay, because obviously you only want to hire the best. Why bother with the rest, as I already said. Okay, now it's a pretty simple process. And the reality is that basically most of these applicants will be a good fit for the job, so it isn't that hard actually picking someone. Okay, don't stress about this too much. You know, it's because you're paying by results. So if you don't like the sniper site or something like that, you know what I mean. It's very very safe for you, and you don't need to fret about this too much. That's why I'm not making this a long complicated video that's going to overcomplicate stuff. Okay, the reality is that 75% of the applicants that will apply will be absolutely fine for the job and will be able to build you a fantastic sniper site. Okay, because building a sniper site is easy. I mean, hopefully, as I've tried to make it easy anyway. Okay, so 3 stages. You got all your applicants. The first stage is you shortlist them. So you pick the ones that you think are good based on what they've wrote back to you, based on the skills that they have, whether it be on Odesk or on the Warrior Forum. The Odesk makes it a lot easier when you post a job, because then these people post a reply saying if they would like the job or not, and you can also see their skills, their work history, etc. Whereas on the Warrior Forum you can't. You can only go on by what they're saying. Okay, the plus side is from the Warrior Forum obviously is that they know a lot more about internet marketing. Okay, so you shortlist from all the applicants. Just quickly on the Warrior Forum and Odesk, I mean, generally I find people on Odesk rather than the Warrior Forum. But it's I suspect that after this video, after Google Sniper 2 has been released, there will be a lot of people on the Warrior Forum specifically offering this service, so you might want to bring that one up. So you might want to check that out, sorry. Second step, very simple step, is just an email, and it's just an email to them which just says, hey, what's your Skype? Basically, we're going to go over that in a second. And the 3 is Skype. Now this is essential that they have Skype. If they do not have Skype, do not hire them. If you don't have Skype, you need to go out and get it. Skype is a free software that allows you to communicate with other people using their Skype ID. Okay, it's an amazing piece of software. You can do voice chat, but mainly what we're going to be doing with your employees, you're going to be using text chat. Okay, but it's essential that they have this. It's so much better than email because it gives you a live platform where you can relay ideas back and forth, tell them what to do, etc. Just makes the whole process a lot faster than waiting. You sending him an email, you getting an email back, 8 hours later, him going to bed, you sending him email the next day. That said, always get his email as well. But yeah, Skype makes it very easy to iron out little problems you might have with the site. So that's absolutely essential that they have Skype, and that is where the actual interview, if you will take place. Okay, so the shortlist. Here are the qualities to look for in the shortlist. Okay, A, good English in their response. If they've written back to you, make sure that it makes sense. Obviously the keener they are, the better, things like that. If they're like, yes, I would absolutely love this job, things like that, look for that, sure. But mainly look for good English in their response, professional. You don't want some guy. Basically, here's something I look for. Not just good English language, but also good English in the way that they talk. Okay, you do not want to hire someone who replies back like, hey man, yeah, I can, get that done for you, and all that stuff. Really, generally, I much prefer to work with someone who's very professional, who's like, hello, yes, whatever your name is, yes, George, I think I could really do you a great service on this. Here is what I could offer. Here are my prices, etc., etc. You want to work with someone professional, someone who sets it off well right off the bat. Okay, not some young stoner guy, okay, who's not going to maybe do a good job, maybe not. Okay, I mean, I'm just giving you my advice here. Okay, so stick with someone who seems professional from the offset. Be experienced. Obviously, the more the better, but it must be relevant to your job, of course. I mean, this is just very important. They might have 5,000 hours on Odesk, but it might have been, building a software program, okay, which is not relevant at all. So it must be relevant to the job, of course, and you'll have to ask them about that, okay. C is price. Now, I wouldn't worry. I mean, I always say this, I know, but I wouldn't worry too much about price. I mean, the fact is you're going to be making so much money off the sniper sites that it doesn't matter too much. But generally, you're looking for employees who charge around $5 an hour. Okay, obviously you're not going to be paying them per hour. You're going to be paying them per sniper site, and we'll talk about more of that in a minute. But people that claim that they charge around $5 an hour. Okay, well, some of them might outright quote you for the sniper site from the outset, and those people will discuss how much you should pay for a sniper site in a minute. D, skills. Make sure they have them. Okay, make sure they have the skills that we set out in the previous video, that they've got them all there. Obviously, mentioning LSI and the fact that they know what that is a bonus as well. Okay, so look for things like that. The next stage is send them that email. Okay, so if we imagine you've identified like five people or something like that, or 10 people that you like, send them an email and say you're interested and want to chat further on the Skype. Now, the only thing to note from here really is keep the email formal at this stage. Do not start off on a bad note. You are the boss. Tell them what you want. Tell them you want their Skype and you want to conduct. You want to talk to them further on that. You want to be formal about this. You don't want to be messing around. You want a short email. You don't want to waste loads of time. Okay, and you don't need to take loads of your time. You just need a short, formal email asking for their Skype. Okay, now the only thing you can learn from this stage really is to take note of each candidate's response time. The faster the response, give them precedence in getting the job, because they're obviously at their computer more, they're ready to go, they're on the ball, they're looking for a job basically, okay, they're keen to work. So that is something I would suggest, okay. So you sent them the email. Now we come to the actual sort of the long-winded part of it, if you will, which isn't really long-winded, and the reality is that this interview can be done in about 15 minutes and they can start building the first site. The real test is obviously going to be how good the first site is, things like that. And then in the next video, not in the next video, in the video after that, I'm actually going to be teaching what to do if the sniper site is good, what to do if it's bad, all that kind of stuff, okay, and how to continue employing the same guy, things like that, okay. So here's how the interview starts off. This is what I suggest you use. I'm not in all of Google Slimer, I'm trying to be as specific as possible. So it starts with hello, how are you, I'm well, where are you from, etc., and nothing too major. And then immediately you want to go into price. You do not want to go into a position where you've interviewed them for 20 minutes and then you want to talk about price, okay. You want to get price out of the way straight away, okay. This basically goes, in my opinion, for any negotiation in life, because it shows that if you discuss price straight away, it shows that if the price is not right, you're just not going to talk to them, okay. It's a bit like a car salesman. They only want to discuss price once you've already seen the car, you've driven the car, you've kind of already committed, if you will, to actually buying the car. There's a reason price is at the bottom of the sales there and at the end of the sales video. By putting it at the start, you're putting yourself in control. Okay, so price, you want to be saying, I liked you, I liked your skills and the way you reply to images, your resume, if you will, and I think you'd fit this job perfectly, but the price is an issue. It's a little bit higher than the other people I've seen, and it was not a little bit higher, so it's quite significantly higher than the other people I've seen. I could hire this guy for that much. Offer them 30% of what their hourly wage is first, and then see what happens, okay. Now obviously you're going to be paying specifically for the sniper site, and this is the stage where you'll explain that as well. Okay, so you'll get their hourly rate down, and then you'll explain, okay, we don't actually need an hourly rate, what we need is a sniper site built, okay. Now The price of a sniper sight really varies from guy to guy. Okay, some guys will think that the work, because they're obviously going to decide how much they're going to charge you based on how long they think it's going to take them. Okay, some guys will literally take like 5 or 6 hours or 8 hours to build a sniper sight. Some will take about 4 hours. You want to keep the price anywhere, okay, from $30 basically is what's probably going to be for your sights, to more likely around $50 to $70, okay, for a sniper sight. That is how much you're going to be paying. Obviously it varies from guy to guy, but if you get it for much less, be suspicious of how much work they're actually going to do, if they're going to write the articles themselves and stuff like that. Okay, now obviously when you're using the same guy over and over, the prices will go down and things like that. Okay, this is just the very first sight, so look for around $50 as the medium. Okay, start off offering them $40 for a sniper sight, which is a considerable amount, and see where it goes from there. Okay, explain to them the hours put in, explain to them the work, but don't go into too many details yet, but explain, you know, here's what you're going to have to do. I've built these sites myself, here's how long it took me realistically. And also tell them, very importantly, that if they work hard it will take that amount of time. Tell them if they're slacking off and going on Facebook and taking 3 hours to write each post, then it's going to take them a while. But tell them for someone who's a hard worker and who uses their hours correctly, it won't take too long at all. Okay, so that's that. Now this is continued on. So after you've discussed the price and everyone's happy, if everyone's happy, if they don't budge too much on price, don't really worry about it. Okay, this is just, you know, you try and obviously save as much money as possible. Okay, after this you want to find out about their life. You want to make sure they live somewhere and that it's stable. I don't really have any preference for hiring someone. You know, I used to only hire young men because, you know, I thought, oh, they'll do a better job, but that isn't the reality. You know, I would have thought someone married or a married woman or something would be perhaps too busy to do the work. That isn't the case at all. Often they can put in a lot more time and effort. Okay, so it really depends. Don't discriminate in any way, really. Just make sure they live somewhere and that it's stable, they're not traveling around, they have good internet, you know, they have a family preferably, okay, and that kind of thing. Okay, the one good indication is to hire someone that has a family. Okay, they're going to be much more keen to get the job done. They're going to be at home. Home life's going to be more stable than, you know, a young guy who's going out getting drunk every night. Okay, or a college student, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'll try and hire someone with a family, and do this interview process basically. So that is it. Make sure they live somewhere. The price has been discussed. Tell them a bit about the work, and then decide if you want to hire them or not. Okay, now do this for at least 4 different people. I know it can be tedious, and then pick your favourite. Don't just pick the first guy because you'll think, oh, this guy's perfect, and then the next guy you interview, honestly, it will improve upon perfection, and you'll be like, wow, you know. Quite frankly, all of these applicants, I think, are going to blow you away with just how willing, how friendly they are to actually do your sniper sight, how willing they are to do the work. So yeah, definitely interview a few different guys, then pick your favourite and go with your gut feeling too. Okay, go with the guy you get on with best, who you feel is the most trustworthy. That's very important, and things like that. Okay, make sure he's going to do the work himself and not outsource it, and just go with your gut feeling. Obviously you're going to have to be having to talk to this person quite regularly, especially if they're building more sites for you, so your gut feeling on the subject is important. Okay, so that's essentially the negotiation. Now, it doesn't take very long on Skype. You don't have to talk on voice, you can just talk via text, and you know, that is absolutely fine. Now then you're actually going to hire them, and the first process to hire them is, once you've decided, you tell them I've decided upon you, is you're going to tell them what to actually do and what the job entails. And that is the next video, and we're going to talk about how to tell them what to do and how to tell them to actually build your sniper sight. Okay, and the simplest way for you and the way that's going to get you the best results. So thanks for watching.